I had it pretty easy growing up, school-wise anyways. I was always good at tests, rarely had a problem with homework, and never really had to study. However, after 9 years of this, I really needed a change. And since I grew up in New York City, I had a plethora of options when choosing a new school. When I finally came to Bronx Science, I realized that this might be the first time in my life that school could actually be a challenge for me. Because of this, I played it safe and only took one special permissions course, Honors Spanish. Since I had taken it pretty easy freshman year, I decided to add more special permissions courses. And since I was a stupid 15-year-old, I decided to take the recommended maximum number of special permissions courses, 1 AP and 2 honors courses. Unfortunately for me, I didn't realize that at the time, because I had taken Honors Spanish and passed the Regents, I would have to take a post-Regents Spanish course, which was a little more difficult than a regular honors course. This meant that I was actually more than maxed out on special permissions courses, and the workload from those courses hit me hard. Because of the amount of work I was getting, I had to drop all of my after-school extracurriculars. The loss of those extracurriculars as de-stressors really hurt me and forced me to find a new outlet for my stress. I unfortunately chose video games, specifically the first-person shooter, Team Fortress 2. Unfortunately, I chose Team Fortress 2 because I quickly became addicted to it. It was a great de-stressor in the short term while I was playing it, and a good way to take a break in between homework assignments. However, as soon as I was done with the game, I immediately felt all the stress of my work return and desperately wanted to go back to playing. Soon, the want became too much, and I would procrastinate on work to keep playing and escape. Unfortunately, that led to me having to do more work in a shorter period of time, which only increased my stress levels, which led to me playing more video games, and I think you can see where this negative feedback loop is leading. Because of this, I developed stress onset irritable bowel syndrome and was bedridden for most days out of a week. All of this culminated one day in my second semester when I was called into my guidance counselor's office and was told I was to meet with the head guidance counselor in a week's time to talk about my future at Bronx Science. I was given 3 options. The first 2 were almost the same. I could either be homeschooled or summer schooled and take the courses that I didn't do during homeschooling or summer schooling the next year. The third option was the most difficult. I would have to do all of the work on my own without any help from anyone. However, I was told if I chose this option and failed, there would be no backup plan for me. I chose the third and most difficult option simply to avoid embarrassing myself and my school. Luckily, all of my teachers were very supportive and I was able to pass by doing the work on my own. Unfortunately, my misery was not over. The following year, I wasn't allowed to take any special permissions courses, and I understood why. I was a health risk not only to myself, but to the other people, and it wasn't worth it for me or the school to put me in a position where I might hurt myself again. When it finally came time for me to choose a college, I was determined to not make the same mistake again. I chose Biggerton over another 4 years of a Bronx Science-like school because it's not only good for my academics, but for my health as well.